Our video today takes us back to the tumultuous era of the late 18th century, a time when Europe was in the throes of revolution and war. It was the year 1797, and the revolutionary French forces, under the command of the then-young General Napoleon Bonaparte, were engaged in a fierce struggle against the First Coalition, an alliance of European powers determined to quell the revolutionary fervor emanating from France. In the northeastern part of Italy, near the small village of Rivoli, a critical battle was about to take place. This is a battle that would be remembered, not only for its strategic brilliance, but also for the man who orchestrated it. This was the Battle of Rivoli. The French Revolutionary Army, led by Napoleon, was attempting to drive the Austrian forces out of Italy. The Austrian army, under the command of Field Marshal Joseph Elvinci, planned to defeat Napoleon by launching a multi-pronged attack, hoping to overwhelm the French forces with superior numbers. The stage was set. The Austrian forces were advancing from 4 directions, their target the French-held town of Rivoli. Napoleon, however, had other plans. He had gleaned the Austrian strategy through captured dispatches and was well prepared for their attack. The battle commenced on January 14, 1797. Napoleon's forces were heavily outnumbered. The Austrians had approximately 28,000 troops, while Napoleon had only about 23,000 at his disposal. Despite this, the French forces held their ground. The Austrian forces launched their attack, but Napoleon, a master of tactics and strategy, used the terrain to his advantage. The plateau of Rivoli was a natural fortress, and Napoleon exploited it to its fullest. In the first phase of the battle, the Austrians attacked the French left flank. Napoleon, anticipating this move, had placed General Masséna's division on the threatened flank. The French soldiers, though outnumbered, fought fiercely. The Austrians were repelled, suffering heavy losses. Meanwhile, another Austrian column was making its way towards the plateau. Napoleon, realizing the threat, dispatched 2 divisions under Generals Joubert and Ray to counter them. The fighting was intense and brutal, but once again, the French soldiers, inspired by their general's leadership and strategic acumen, held their ground. Throughout the night, the battle raged on. The Austrian forces, despite their superior numbers, were unable to break through the French lines. They were faced with a resolute and tactically superior enemy. As dawn broke on January 15th, the battle entered its decisive phase. Napoleon, ever the tactician, had kept a reserve force under General Louis-Alexandre Berthier. Seeing the Austrians weaken, he ordered a massive counterattack. The French forces, with fresh troops from the reserve, charged at the Austrians. The fighting was intense, but the momentum had shifted. The Austrian forces, worn out by the previous day's fighting, and demoralized by their inability to break through the French lines, began to retreat. By the end of the day, the Battle of Rivoli was over. The French forces, under Napoleon, had secured a decisive victory. The Austrian forces were driven out, their plans to retake northern Italy in tatters. The Battle of Rivoli was more than just a military victory. It showcased Napoleon's strategic brilliance and his ability to inspire his troops. Despite being heavily outnumbered, the French forces fought with determination and courage, qualities instilled in them by their leader. The victory at Rivoli paved the way for the French control over northern Italy. It also cemented Napoleon's reputation as one of the greatest military commanders in history. The tactical ingenuity and sheer audacity displayed by Napoleon during the battle would become hallmarks of his military career, earning him the admiration of friends and foes alike. The fallout from the Battle of Rivoli would have far-reaching consequences. The Austrian forces, reeling from their defeat, were forced to retreat beyond the Alps. Napoleon continued his campaign, pushing the Austrians back even further. In the months that followed, Napoleon won several more battles, culminating in the Treaty of Campo Formio later that year. This treaty effectively dissolved the First Coalition and marked the end of the War of the First Coalition. The Battle of Rivoli was a turning point in the Napoleonic Wars. It showcased Napoleon's ability to achieve victory against all odds and set the stage for his rise to power in the years to come. The tactics and strategies employed by Napoleon during the battle continue to be studied by military historians and tacticians to this day, a testament to his enduring legacy. But the Battle of Rivoli was not just a story of military strategy and conquest. It was also a story of the human spirit, of the soldiers who fought on both sides of the conflict, and of the sacrifices they made in the name of duty and allegiance. The French soldiers, inspired by their general's leadership, displayed courage and tenacity in the face of overwhelming odds, while the Austrian forces fought valiantly, despite the crushing defeat they would ultimately suffer. The Battle of Rivoli serves as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can rise to the challenge, and that a single individual, with the right combination of skill, determination, and leadership, can shape the course of history. As we look back on the Battle of Rivoli, we are reminded of the turbulent times in which it took place. The French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars that followed were a period of immense change and upheaval in European history. The struggle between revolutionary forces and the old order would define the continent for decades to come. Today, the Battle of Rivoli stands as a testament to the power of human ingenuity and determination, a reminder of the incredible feats that can be achieved when individuals come together in pursuit of a common goal. It is a story of courage, sacrifice, and the unyielding human spirit, a story that continues to inspire and resonate across the centuries. As we bid farewell to the Battle of Rivoli, we remember not only the military brilliance of Napoleon Bonaparte, but also the thousands of soldiers who fought and died on that fateful day. Their courage, determination, and sacrifice in the face of insurmountable odds